So I'm the city engineer on Thursdays is my joke. I took over that position from Justin Avent, who had been doing it for a couple of years before he left for another job. And we drew straws, and I think the joke was that I got the short straw, but I actually was excited to do it. I really am passionate about municipal engineering, so the first time I had ever been to the city of Dyersburg was the day that Justin Avent brought me to like a planning commission meeting and said that he was leaving and that I was going to take over the position. And it's crazy, it's 8 years ago, which I can't believe that I've been there that long. So I basically serve as their city engineer, and I help administer projects. I help get grant funding. I do a lot of their contracting work, even for things that aren't necessarily like my discipline. If we're going to re-roof a building, if we are going to replace an HVAC unit, I handle a lot of their bidding and contracting for that kind of stuff. We had the opportunity to pick up a bunch of work in Afghanistan, designing huge bases for the Afghan National Army on behalf of the Corps of Engineers, and that took so much effort and time that SSR asked if I would start working full-time. So I worked part-time for I think almost a year, and then started working full-time. So that's why I always say, like, I've worked here since 2010, so I guess I've been here 13 years, but my technical time of service for SSR says 12 years. And we had, multiple bases going at one time, and on average, they were like 1,000-acre sites, and they had their own wastewater treatment, their own water treatment. They usually would have like soccer fields, and they'd have a gym, and then we'd have all of those buildings. And so sometimes the Corps provided you the building designs, and they called them site adapt. So we would design the site, but the buildings were largely designed. But on a couple of the projects, we got to partner with an architect to design the buildings. Well, mostly at this point in my life, I watch my children's sporting events. That's basically my whole life. And then I do a lot of yoga and Pilates, and I used to run until I suffered a hip injury. Yes, it's been 2 years now. So I was a chronic runner. I ran half marathons a lot just for fun, why not? And then after I got injured, I kind of had to let that go, and had surgery on my hip last year, but I will not ever be able to run again, which is pretty sad, I know. So I've taken up Pilates and more yoga. I've always been into yoga, but now I'm doing more yoga, and I've taken up Pilates to kind of fill in for my running.